the way D.C. traditionally works, where it's just been ever growing and more taxpayer money and more subsidies going out. And so, look, they're going to have, the private sector is going to have to get used to not having a massive federal bureaucracy to lean on. But as we make that shift, you're going to see really strong economic growth.
Yeah, the jobs report was actually lower than expected, but it didn't tumble as much. But Christine, I do want to talk about this. The Republicans are blaming the Democrats. The ones that we have come on this show have blamed the Democrats for the economy's woes. They're still blaming Biden. Are Democrats worried that this messaging will work with the American people?
Well, I think what Democrats are worried about is the impact of Trump policies on Americans. We saw the stock market not just do a course correction yesterday, but a tumble. We've not seen any relent in prices of goods, services, eggs. That really is hitting Americans. And the fear is it's just going to get worse. You know, and on one hand, the Republicans can't blame the Democrats and then take credit for what they're putting out as a good jobs report. Either this is their economy or it is not. And I think we've seen for years Donald Trump point to Wall Street as a key indicator of a good or bad economy. He can't step away from that outlook. He owns that outlook.
He now says he doesn't pay attention to the Wall Street, which believe it if you want to.
Check his tweets.
Yeah. I do want to ask you, though, what Democrats can do. They do not have the House. They do not have the Senate. They do not have the numbers. So going forward, what is it that they can do to try and impact some of these things that they do not like that President Trump has put forth?
Well, although we don't control anything at the moment, the margins still in the House and the Senate are close. And it is very hard for a leader of any party to always get all of their members in line. So we do have some power. We are not without power. But the greatest power we have is to work with Americans. If you've seen the very organic turnout at these town hall meetings Republicans are having, people are mad about the economy. People are mad about this slash and burn attempt by Elon Musk to just gut the federal workforce in places that really are important, like the Veterans Administration, like Social Security. Gut the promises that we made Americans. I think if we work more closely and organize with rank and file Americans, we'll have a lot more power. We're seeing Republicans run out of those meetings and actually move to virtual meetings because they're afraid to be in the room with Americans.
Matt, I do want to ask you about something Christine said, which is about the CR, about whether or not that can be passed just right by Republicans repeatedly. And we've seen Donald Trump go after Thomas Massie, who is saying, I absolutely am not going to vote for this. It's not happening. Is this a good policy? It has worked for him in the past. Is it good for the president to go after Republicans by saying we're going to run something else against you if you do not do what I say? And will this work over time?
Well, it may or may not, and that'll kind of bear itself out. I mean, no one's surprised that Thomas Massie is going to oppose this. He opposes everything. I think the real question is, are the Democrats, even though they're in the minority, going to be responsible here and actually try to keep the government open, or are they going to kind of stamp their feet and, say, if we don't get our way, we're going to go home? I mean, look at what's in this continuing resolution. It actually has one of the largest increases of pay for junior officers in the military. It fully funds veteran benefits. To push back against what Christine was just saying right now, this actually fully funds veterans benefits. Are Democrats now going to vote against that in the coming days while also trying to shut down the government? It does increases funding for TSA and for important security measures as well that are necessary in order, and for air traffic controllers as well. So, I think we've actually seen a responsible approach by the Republican majority and the Trump administration on this. The question is, are the Democrats going to try to play politics with the U.S. economy right now, whether they're going to keep the government open? And by the way, if they do, explains why their approval rating right now is around 20%.
Yeah, the Democrats' response to that is, how dare you put this on us? You have control of both houses. We will have to wait and see how the American public responds, depending on which way things go as this CR bill. They're going to be a vote today, so we will see if the House can push it through and then what happens with the Senate. Christine, Quinn, Matt Mowers, thank you both so much. I really appreciate you coming on. All right, ahead, investigators release a new image of